Good morning, everybody. This is Christy Johnson along with Rick Pruscia of Premier Marketing. And today we are bringing you our most popular home health care product with GTL. Greg Esposito, who's the Assistant Vice President of Sales, is going to go over the product. And I think he's probably one of the best presenters I've ever listened to. So I think you'll really enjoy him. And with that, Greg, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Beautiful. Hey, thanks, Christy. And hey, thanks to everybody for tuning in today. We do have an incredible short-term home health care plan at GTL. Looking forward to telling you about it. And I'm sure we have some agents who have been working for quite a long time and absolutely know the answer to this question, which is simply, when are your clients going to give you a holler and say, hey, when can you lower my out-of-pocket costs? Or I need some cancer insurance, or you know what, I need some home health care insurance. We all know that they tend to call after they've already had a health event, and it's just a little bit too late to give them coverage. And even if you've done the work up front, when you met them, talk to them about these products, their access to them, and they turn you down for it, you still feel terrible that they didn't take it. But I think one of the key things that I do during the trainings is try to talk about the product, but also how to sell it, when to bring it up, and what to say. Today is really no different, but the main thing I can tell you is the best sales idea for this plan is you just have to bring it up. It does make a lot of sense, and especially given that you are the main agent for your clients, you're familiar with their main health insurance coverage, you're familiar with the drug plan they're on if they have one. This plan really works very well for those clients who just haven't had any type of planning down the road completed for long-term care or short-term care. And if they're taking prescription drugs, this plan is going to be even more affordable. So one of the nice things about it is our incredible creative name for our short-term home health care plan, which is called creatively short-term home health care. So it's pretty hard to forget the name of this plan at GTL. We come up with incredibly creative benefits and features for the clients, but when it comes to naming products, we're not that creative. This is our state availability chart. And, you know, I would say maybe there'll be a state or two added, but for the most part, I think we're pretty much maxed out with which states we're going to have this product in. If you have a state that you work in that you don't see on the screen, I welcome you to shoot me an email afterwards and I'll let you know quickly whether we've filed it or if we've already tried to file it and they said it's not going to work, so we can keep you abreast of that. So just shoot me an email anytime you have a question. All right, so the target market for short-term home health care, pretty simple. If you have clients who are taking prescription drugs, I know all of you are rolling your eyes right now, but that's really a first target market. And if you have some of those clients who just haven't planned for long-term care, maybe life just breezed by quickly, they didn't plan for it, maybe they didn't have an agent along the way who asked them about it, or maybe they just are at a point now where they're starting to look into it, but they can't afford it or can't qualify for it health-wise. These are great target clients. Somebody in my situation, I'm 54 years old. Both my parents, thankfully, are still alive, 81, 83, but they didn't plan for any type of long-term care coverage down the road. And, you know, people that are in my age range, the parents are still alive and not in a financial position where if they need home health care, they can afford it themselves. Well, then you got a situation where the children generally have to assist. And that assistance could be financial, or it could be something where they need to change their own jobs so that they can stay home to help. So this plan is a great target market for underage clients that, you know, their parents are still around. Now, we've already covered if somebody can't afford LTC or can't qualify for it. One thing I do like to mention here is this is a short-term home health care plan. It's not long-term care insurance, but it's a great bridge for some people to use to help them with out-of-pocket expenses for home health care they may encounter. So with all of that said, if you have clients in these target markets and they currently do not have a ADL issue doing their activities of daily living, or they don't have a cognitive impairment, well, they're going to be able to get this product. I'll share with you the application questions, but the great thing is there's just 2 of them. So it's very, very, very possible that most of your clients are going to be able to get this plan right away, as long as they don't have a cognitive issue or issues doing their ADLs. Now, just a little bit about GTL. If you're not familiar with Guarantee Trust, this is our building in Glenview, Illinois, and all the employees of GTL work out of this building. We've been around since 1936, mutual insurance company, always been a mutual insurance company. We tried to get our products approved in all of the states with the exception of New York. We just don't even work in New York. So we're not rookies. We've been around 83 years. Great things to know if you're an agent. Now, if you're meeting with Mr. and Mrs. Smith at the kitchen table, I would suggest telling them some things like this. GTL's been around over 83 years taking care of policyholders. AM Best top tier rating, B++, 0 debt on the balance sheet. So an incredibly strong balance sheet after 83 years, 0 debt on it. And any financial metric you look at GTL, it's the strongest it's ever been. 2018 was our 9th consecutive record year in a row in terms of increasing premium and surplus. So things are going very well at GTL. So we came up with the short-term home health care plan for a pretty simple reason. First, we're very good at indemnity products. That's kind of is what we specialize in at GTL. This is an indemnity product. And we also know that whether you have a situation where a client maybe fell and broke their hip and they're given a choice of they need to recover at home, but they're going to need some home health care, or would they like to stay in a skilled nursing facility to recover? Well, they're going to most likely want to stay at home if they can. Again, this is an indemnity product, so we are going to pay any of the benefits I tell you about today to the client, regardless of any other insurance they have in mind. And that, very importantly, includes any type of prescription drug plan they have. So when I go over the prescription drug benefits, we don't care if they have something else in force. We are going to pay them exactly the benefits that you see on the screen. So it's just a great plan, very easy to explain, easy to use. And again, we are not coordinating coverage. We're not lowering any benefits they have coming that I tell you about because they have some other coverage elsewhere. So one of the funnest ways to introduce the plan to your clients or use as a prospecting tool is to send them the link to GTL's consumer short-term home health care video. And it's also great to use during your presentation or to kind of segue in to the plan. So for example, you're sitting and you're talking to them about their main healthcare plan. You may ask them if they have long-term care coverage, or they may ask you about that. And if you find that they're in a situation where, health-wise, they're not going to be able to qualify for it, or, financially, they're not going to be able to afford a high long-term care premium at this point in their life, well, this is just a great segue to say, well, you know what, I have a great plan that could really help out. Let me show you a video for it, and then we'll take it from there. I have agents that sell this plan, and when I do trainings live, they basically say they play this video and the people buy the product. So let me share the video with you. It's just 3 minutes long, and it'll give you a great intro into the plan.
There's no bed like your own. And if you suffer an illness or have an accident, the last thing you would want to do is recover in an unfamiliar, hectic environment like a hospital or nursing home. Focus on your recovery in the comfort of your own home with short-term home health care insurance from Guarantee Trust Life Insurance Company. Think about your family situation. You may be reaching that age where planning for future care is necessary, or maybe your parents are reminding you they don't want to go to a nursing home. How could being unprepared for either yours or your parents' need for care affect your finances and way of life? GTL's short-term home health care insurance is more affordable than most other plan of care policies, and it pays benefits directly to you regardless of any other insurance you have. Home health care benefits kick in if you suffer a cognitive disability or can't perform 2 of the 6 ADLs, and no hospital stay is required. The base plan consists of 3 main components: and there are 3 different base plans for you to choose from to match the level of coverage you want. With the home health care benefit, your chosen plan pays a benefit for up to 360 payments for a variety of services, including skilled nursing, physical therapy, and general nursing care. With our most comprehensive plan, you can receive up to $162,000 of home health care benefits. With the home health care aid benefit, you can receive a daily benefit for each day you require the services of a home health care aide, depending on your chosen plan, and no hospitalization stay is required. Most likely, you're taking at least 1 prescription medication. With the prescription drug benefit, you can receive benefits for any prescriptions that are filled after the policy is in effect. Just filling your normal prescriptions can help offset the cost of the policy itself. Now let's see how it works. Say you're 65 years old, have the Plan A policy, and take 1 brand name prescription that you refilled 10 times over the year. A GTL short-term home health care insurance policy would pay you a total benefit amount of $250 over those 12 months. With an annual policy premium of $294.45, the net cost of the policy would be less than $4 a month. And this is not even including any home health care benefits you may receive. Policyholders can also have access to Ask Mayo Clinic services 24 hours a day. Receive personalized support and trusted medical guidance for your health-related questions from the experts at Mayo Clinic. Short-term home health care insurance from GTL is flexible and customizable, with a great set of riders for you to choose from. And with only 2 or 3 underwriting questions, you don't have to worry about a long application process or medical exams. So, for a fair premium, wouldn't you rather receive professional care at home? Now is a great time to find out more about GTL's short-term home health care insurance.
So there you go, a short 3-minute video, very enticing for clients to watch, to either during the appointment or perhaps to get the appointment in the first place to talk to them about the plan. And there's some great things in that. I like the fact that it talks a little bit about the product, but then also shows an example of how it can work. And that prescription drug benefit is definitely a powerful benefit that they can use. So now let's just get into the plan. We'll show you how it works, some examples, and I think you'll find that it's super easy to talk to clients about and easy for them to understand how it works. So issue age range for this product is from age 40 to 85. The great thing about it is you can keep it as long as you like. So once you have it, keep it the rest of your life as long as you pay the premiums. Unisex rates makes it even easier to quote. Now, there's 3 building blocks on your screen for 2 reasons. The first one is there's 3 base plans to choose from. I'm sure you picked that up from the video. The other thing is that no matter which plan you choose as a base plan, Plan A, Plan B, or Plan C, you get all 3 of these components. You get the prescription drug benefit, home health care, and home health care aid benefits. So you always get 3 different components no matter which base plan you choose. Don't worry about the fact that I just threw a bunch of information on the screen. The only reason I bring this up, showing all 3 different components benefits, is because I would just want to let you know, importantly, that if you choose, let's say, Plan A for home health care benefits, you will automatically get Plan A for the other 2 components. You cannot say, I want Plan A for home health care, Plan B for home health care aid, and Plan C for prescription drug benefits. So whichever plan you choose for one, you will get for all. Now let's get into the fun part. Component 1 is the prescription drug benefit. Now, I'm going to point it out again because it's super important. Once your client's policy is issued, which is going to be immediately, as long as they can answer the 2 underwriting questions no, they can start getting the prescription drug benefits from GTL. So they do not have to be on home health care claim to get the prescription drug benefits. They can just start getting $10 per generic prescription refill, $25 per brand name prescription refill, up to $300 per year, or $600 per year, depending upon if they chose Plan A, B, or C. So it's a really important point. Once your policy is issued, you can start turning in the prescription receipts to GTL and you will start getting your benefits to $10 or $25, depending upon which type of prescription it is, from GTL. And again, we are not coordinating coverage. So even if they're going to the drugstore and they're paying $2.50 for their generic prescription, we're still sending them $10 or $25. It's brand name. So let's take a peek and see how this would work. As in the video, it shows 65-year-old getting Plan A. Let's say that over the first 12 months of the policy, they have 5 brand name prescriptions filled and 10 generic prescriptions filled. So that's a total of $225 coming to them from GTL for their prescription drug benefits. Now, Plan A, 65-year-old, costs a little shy of $295 a year. So at the end of the day, they paid GTL $294.45 for the first year of their plan. They got back $225 for the prescription drug benefit. Policy cost them $5.79 per month, and they still have the home health care and home health care aid benefits waiting for them if they would have needed them. Now, some things that are rolling through your head, generally the hands start flying up at about this point if I'm doing a live training, and they're saying, wait a minute, Greg, are you saying that if my client just has one brand name that they take and they get that prescription filled every month, they're going to get $25 every month up till they hit their maximum benefit of $300 or $600 per year? That's exactly how it works. Very similar to the generic, which does the same thing, except it pays them $10. So that's really the only determining factor, is if the medicine is generic or brand name. Now, this one is a question that's a great one to always have, so I popped the slide in on it. They say, well, I've got some clients who are set up to get a 3-month supply of their prescriptions. Is that going to be 1 or 3 benefits? Easy way to remember this. Anytime they get a prescription receipt, that's a benefit. So if they're getting a 3-month supply, they're going to get 1 prescription receipt, whether it's coming in the mail or whether they're picking it up at Walgreens or CVS. So that's 1 benefit for the 3-month supply. You may have some clients, depending upon the drug plan they have, it may be worth converting that to a 1-month prescription benefit so they would be able to get a monthly benefit from GTL. This is one that's very important. You're saying, Greg, that if I have a client who, when they go pick up their prescription at CVS or Rite Aid, it costs them a $5 copay, GTL is going to still send them $25 or $10? Yes, absolutely. Again, this is an indemnity plan, so we are not coordinating coverage whatsoever. So that's the prescription drug benefit. And again, it just starts right away after the policy is issued. So the second component is the home health care plan. Now, the home health care component, something does have to happen to the client after policy issue in order for the home health care benefits to kick in, and that is either developing a cognitive impairment, could be early Alzheimer's, dementia, or it could be a functional impairment, which we define as not being able to do 2 of the 6 ADLs, the toileting, transferring, grooming, eating, bathing. So how could a functional impairment kick in? Well, it could be fell down and broke their hip, or it could be, reaching an age where they're just not able to, do those 2 of those 6 ADLs. So what I'm saying to you is this could be something that's temporary, falling, breaking your hip, or it could be something that, unfortunately is permanent. Now, how the benefits work is you have up to 360 days of home healthcare benefits waiting for you. And the nice thing about that, which is important for you to mention, those 360 days have nothing to do with the calendar year. So somebody could use home health care for 360 days in a row, and they would use up the benefits for this component. But if they only use it 2 days a week, well, it's going to take them many, many weeks, 720 or more than that, to actually just blow through the benefits. So here's your next question. Does this stuff restore, or is it one and done? Well, the answer to that question is really simple. If they have something that they're using the home health care benefits for that they can recover from, and their doctor says, Greg doesn't need home health care anymore, and that goes on for 180 consecutive days, well, then these home health care benefits do restore fully, and that can happen over and over again. On the other hand, if a person goes on home health care due to something that they're not going to recover from, like for example, unfortunately, we do not have a cure for Alzheimer's, dementia. Well, if they go on home health care because of that, a cognitive impairment, well, once they use up the 360 days of home health care, that's going to be it. So you could have somebody fall and break their hip, use this, recover, they get full benefits again for when they need them down the road, or you have something that they don't recover from, they're going to have one use of the 360 days. So let's see what they can do to max out their plan. These benefits that I'm sure you took a peek at already while I was chatting away, these have a certain dollar benefit depending upon which base plan you have. So if you look at the left side, you go 4 down and it says speech pathology. If you have plan A and you have a speech therapist come at your house and do that therapy with you, that's going to be a $75 benefit. Now, the max benefit per day is $150, so that same day you could also have physical therapy done and get another $75 benefit, so that's $150 right there for the client. Now, if you take $150 and times it by 360 days of home health care, that's $54,000 of home health care benefits available to them their first time through using this plan. Plan B and Plan C are the same exact type of formula, but Plan B, the benefits are worth a little bit more than they were on Plan A. So you can get up to $300 per day. That's a max benefit of $108,000. Plan C, $450 per day is the max benefit. So as I mentioned in the video, that's how you could actually get up to $162,000 of home health care benefits from Plan C. I like to share with you what's happening. Most of the apps coming in the door are Plan B, followed by Plan A, and then Plan C. Let's run through a quick example. Let's say that I'm 65 years old, I have Plan A, and unfortunately I had a stroke. So my doctor says, well, you need some home health care, Greg, and you're definitely going to need some speech pathology and physical therapy. So for 10 days in a row, I had both speech pathologists and a physical therapist come to my home and take care of these. Each of these benefits is worth $75 per day. So $750, I've got $1,500 of home health care benefits coming to me in the form of a check from GTL. And again, the benefit for the premium for Plan A, $294.45 a year. I'm looking pretty good here. Okay, so the third component, home health care aid benefits. Now, I'll give you a generic description because I always get this question as well. What's the difference between home health care and home health care aid? Well, you could see the home health care was for some very skilled things, physical therapist, speech therapist, someone coming to do chemotherapy in the house, a skilled nurse to come give a shot, stuff like that. Generally, home health care aides are coming to help the client with their ADLs, toileting, transferring, bathing, those type of situations. So the benefit you see per day at the top of your screen, $40, $80, $120, depending upon which plan you choose. Nice thing is you do not have to have a prior hospitalization stay for home health care aid benefits to kick in. If you're wondering how long the home health care aid benefits last, 60 days of home health care aid services. And again, this has nothing to do with the calendar year. You could do it 60 days in a row or once a week for 60 weeks. That's it. Keeping it simple here, the restoration is exactly the same as I just went over for the base plan for home health care services. So client could use this, recover, not need home health care aid for 180 days, it restores. If they have something permanent, they use up to 60 days, that's going to be it. Okay, always good to know that there's a 6-month pre-X on this plan, and really important to share that with the client. And I've got a great example for you to share with your clients, or even just to explain how it works, either for your client or for yourself. So let me run through what that is. I had an agent call me last fall, and she said that she just signed her husband up for the short-term home health care plan. Now, he currently does not need home health care, but he is currently has cancer and he's being treated for cancer. So she said, Greg, how does this short-term home health care 6-month pre-X work for him? And it's really simple. If he needs home health care specifically due to his cancer, he's not going to be able to use the GTL plan benefits for the first 6 months the policy's in force. After 6 months, he could. So if he had this policy for 6 months and then the doctor said, well, you need to have some home health care, we need to have a home health care skilled nurse come and give you chemotherapy in your house, he could start using this after 6 months. But the other upside to this plan is if something were to happen immediately after policy issue, where he needed home health care, but it wasn't related to his cancer, like say he fell and broke his hip, he could use this right away. So as long as your client doesn't currently need home health care and they don't have a issue with their cognitive or functional impairments, they can get this plan and then they can use it right away. Okay, so that we have a nice little benefit here that comes with the plan. If you're familiar with our hospital indemnity plan, you're familiar with this already. We do have an exclusive agreement with the Mayo Clinic. They have their own online symptom checker. I won't get into it too much, but I will tell you, compared to what you see online, maybe the other ones that you've all used yourself, the Mayo Clinic's symptom checker online support system is so much better. Has over 30 more algorithms than the other plans, ask a lot more detailed questions. So you tend to get a pretty close analysis of what you may have and a number to call if you need some support. The other ones, as you know, you can kind of go on there, they ask a couple questions and they give you this wide range of maybe you have the flu or maybe it's a good day to buy a final expense policy. So, this one is really good. It comes with the policy. It's just nice to have. Basically, when they get their policy documents, they're going to get an access code to use the Mayo Clinic's online symptom checker. Real simple. So let's get to the rates. I'm sure you are wondering how expensive this plan is, how affordable it is, and which clients you may want to reach out to right away. So if you've been selling GTL plans for a while, this is really important to take a peek at, because most GTL plans, once you buy them, that is your premium rate and it stays the same as the client ages. This one, the short-term home health care plan, is a little bit different. And as you'll see, it will increase about every 5 years. So let's just run through an example. 65-year-old buys Plan A. It's going to cost them $24.54 a month. Now, when they reach the age of 71 and their policy hits its anniversary date, their premiums will increase to $32.85. Reach 76 and the policy issue anniversary date happens, it's going to go to $43.48. So you can see whichever plan you choose, the rates start and then they do increase. So I think it's just a good thing to point out. Make sure if you got a client that's right at the edge, like let's say age 70, let them know there's going to be a price increase the following year upon their policy hitting the anniversary date. Somebody who's like 70, for example, their rate is going to stay the same for the first year. So even if they were 70 when they got this, and then 2 months later they hit 71, they're not going to have a rate increase until the policy anniversary date. So once you buy this plan, it's going to be the same for at least a year, and then wherever you're at in this age range spectrum and you hit the next level, it will go up. Now, I did mention early on that you can get this plan from ages 40 to 85. Well, what happens after 85? One last price increase. So when you hit age 86, those are your rates. Just like all of our other plans, we do bank draft for just about every mode. We do direct bill for quarterly, semi-annual, and annual. Important note, if you have a client that says, nah, I don't want to do I don't want to do bank draft, I don't want GTL touching my bank account. At that point, we do have direct bill for quarterly, semi-annual, or annual, but since we are not able to draft the client's account for the initial premium, you're not going to be able to use our electronic platforms to do the application. So any direct bill, you're going to need to use a paper app and submit the first premium payment with that application. And after that, we'll do direct bill. Never need to collect any money if they're doing a bank draft mode. Okay, we have an infographic, which is great. I highly recommend you contact GTL Sales Support and order some of these. This is a one-page that you can use either to prospect, because you can see on the right, you could use a sticker, a stamp, or staple your business card onto the contact information, put these in an envelope, mail them to your clients. They are a pre-approved marketing piece for consumers. The other thing agents do is they actually use this during the presentation to work through the product. You can see it starts off by saying how it kicks in, and then it goes through each of the components, talks about the prescription drug benefit, mentions the Mayo Clinic, and some other riders that you can get into a little bit more. It's just kind of a nice thing to work through with the client. So I know you've been wondering, like, well, how hard is this to get? So take a peek at all the red boxes, red circles with the X through them. There's no MIB, there's no RX check, no phone interview, nothing. The only thing a person needs to do in order to get Plan A or Plan B is answer the first two questions no. So it's really simple. Are they getting home health care in a nursing home now? No? Okay, great, they're halfway home. Do they have a cognitive or functional impairment now? No? Okay, done. They get the policy. So now think about all the clients you've had who may have asked about long-term care, couldn't get it, couldn't afford it, can't qualify for it health-wise. Another thing, people could have some serious health issues. Maybe they're diabetic. Maybe they have cancer. Well, if they're not getting home health care and they don't have a cognitive or functional impairment yet, they can get this. So that's how easy it is to get this plan. And if they want Plan C, then they will need to also answer the third question. But if they're not, they only have to answer the first two. Now, people always want to know how to get their money for their prescriptions. It could not be easier. All they have to do is take the prescription receipt that they get when they pick up their prescription at Walgreens or comes in the mail with their 90-day supply, write their policy number on it, mail it to GTL. That's it. There's no claim form to fill out. Put the prescription receipts in an envelope, send them to GTL, or a copy of the prescription receipt works too. I would recommend, just to let you know my experience with this plan so far, have your clients do it monthly or quarterly or annually. We do not have an issue at GTL if they send it in every time they pick up a prescription. I'll just tell you from experience, what I've seen so far is they don't do the best job of tracking that they've sent in 3 this week and 2 the following week and 1 and checking off the box that yes, I got that one. So they'll call you and say, well, I don't know if I got this check or not from GTL, and you'll call me, and which is fine, and then I'll check on it and let you know that we've sent it or it's going out tomorrow. But it's just a lot easier if they send it, the prescription receipts monthly, and they know what that is. I'm going to get $90 from GTL, and then they get that check, as opposed to sending them in right away when they get them. So just passing that along. Now, with going on home health care aid claim, pretty simple. Very short claim form. If you're familiar with hospital indemnity plan, it's the same type of very short claim form. They're putting down their policy number, their contact information. They're going to sign a HIPAA form, and then they include a plan of care from their licensed physician, which is standard practice for the physician to write a plan of care. And that basically says, well, Greg needs home health care 1 day a week and have a skilled nurse come to do this, or home health care aide come to the house, help them with their ADLs. Standard in the industry. So this is not the client needing to reach out to the doctor again to get something special. So they're going to do the claim form, they're going to include the plan of care, and they're going to send us a bill for what they've had done so far. That's it. The good news is if they're sending in home health care or home health care aid bills the following month, we don't need a new claim form, we don't need a new plan of care, just send us the bills. Any other great riders we have on this plan? Same thing, just, if you use an ambulance and you have the ambulance rider, just fill out the claim form, send us the bill that comes with it. You're good to go. So this is a really incredible screen for agents who have been selling our hospital indemnity plan Advantage Plus. We do have a hospital indemnity rider on the short-term home health care plan. And the reason I say it's an incredible thing is because I know many of you have told our client or told your clients about the Advantage Plus hospital indemnity plan, and then you get to the first question that says, have you been in the hospital in the last 6 months? And like, yeah, I was in there. And like, oh, well, I can't get you that plan. Or you may have a client who's an insulin-dependent diabetic. And you're like, oh, I can't get you this plan. Well, we've already looked at the underwriting questions for the short-term home health care plan. There were no questions about, have you been in the hospital recently? There were no questions about, do you have insulin-dependent diabetes? Do you have COPD, emphysema, anything like that? No. So for those who you cannot get our standalone hospital indemnity plan, but wanted to, if they need short-term home health care, you can tack on a hospital indemnity benefit on this plan. Now, the benefits are not as rich as you could do on our standalone plan. Also very important to point out to you that like the short-term home health care plan, base plan, these rates, if they get the hospital indemnity rider, will increase about every 5 years and when they hit their policy anniversary. However, it's a great way to get some hospital indemnity coverage for a client who can't get the standalone plan. And if you have been selling our standalone hospital indemnity plan and saying, well, maybe I'm just going to start selling this rider instead, I would suggest that you continue for your clients that can get the standalone plan Advantage Plus to do that. Because with that plan, once they purchase it, the rates never go up. With this hospital indemnity rider on the short-term home health care plan, they will go up, every 5 years or so, and when the plan hits the policy anniversary date. Pretty simple 3-day or 6-day benefit period. These benefit periods restore an unlimited amount of times after 60 days of no confinement. So if you go in the hospital for 5 days, you come home 60 days later, you haven't been back to the hospital, you get a brand new 6-day benefit period. It's just a very good way for clients to help cover their out-of-pocket copays if they have a Medicare Advantage plan. A couple things, there's a 30-day wait once this rider goes into effect for sickness, but they can use it right away if an accident happened and they were rushed to the hospital. Plan kicks in after being in the hospital for 24 hours. And again, the premium rates for the rider will increase every 5 years or so once they hit their policy anniversary date. 6-month pre-ex, same thing that we just went over for the base plan here. So really no need to continue to go over this with you, but it's exactly the same as a short-term home health care plan. And if you have any questions on how the pre-ex works at all, always feel free to shoot me an email or give me a holler. Go through it with you. Ambulance rider. If your client doesn't have the ambulance rider from GTL, well, it's incredible. They should have it. You're looking at adding about $3 to $5 a month to their premium, but anytime they use an ambulance, whether they're admitted or not, they get $200 from GTL. You can use this benefit up to 4 times a year, up to $2,500 over the lifetime of the policy. It's an incredible rider, and it takes 5 seconds to explain. Mrs. Smith with the GTL ambulance rider, if you take an ambulance to go to the hospital, you'll get $200. You can do this up to 4 times a year, $2,500 over the life of the policy. We're done. That's it. The reason it's such a great rider is because you do not have to get admitted. So if you take an ambulance to the hospital because of an ER visit or a short observation stay, you're getting your money. Another rider that I like is the critical accident rider. This is about 2 years new, and I love it. Finish this sentence for me and look at the chart on the right. Mrs. Smith fell and broke her hip, or fell and fractured her skull, or she blew out her knee, or she slipped on the ice and fractured her wrist, breaking her fall. These are all lump sum payout situations if you have the critical accident rider. You can see there's also an accidental death benefit, and you have a choice of a maximum payout for all of these benefits or things happening to your clients of $5,000 or a $10,000 benefit. Now, I'll give you an example. I have this critical accident rider on my hospital indemnity plan, I have the $10,000 benefit level. I'm 54 years old. It costs less than $3 a month to have this. So it's very inexpensive, just like the ambulance rider, and a great way to get your clients some extra money should they fall and break their hip or blow out their knee or fracture a bone. Good news too, check out the orange rectangle on the bottom. Premium rates based on issue age, and they do not increase as the client gets older. So let's just keep it simple. The base plan and the hospital indemnity rider, those things will increase over time. Any other riders stay the same. There's a return of premium rider, and you can get this. And if you die before the age of 86, well, your beneficiaries are going to get the premiums you paid to GTL, less any claim benefits we've already paid. I'm on the fence with this rider. The only reason why is I always like to point out that benefits paid, claim benefits paid, will include prescription drug benefits paid to the client. So, we'll keep that in mind when you talk about this rider. It's always great to have a return of premium rider. However, this one, I like it, but keep in mind you're going to have to figure out, well, if they're going to use the prescription drug benefits a lot, may not be worth getting the prescription, the return of premium rider. Okay, so we've covered the plan. I just want to let you know that whether you're using a paper application that you can fax, scan email, or mail to GTL, we're going to get that issued very quickly, usually less than 3 days. If you're using our e-app platform, which you can use on an Apple or Android device, whether it's your smartphone or your tablet, you can use both of those. That's the best way, because this product there's no underwriting on it other than the 2 application questions. So once you send it electronically to GTL via your tablet or smartphone, it's going to be issued in seconds and probably won't make it to the car by the time your clients have their coverage issued. So if you want to use the e-app platform, you're going to download GTL e-app. I'll show you that on the next screen. Before I do that, I want to mention that, boy, if your clients are 2, 3, 4 hours away, do you want to drive out there to talk to them about this plan? Maybe, but if you don't, you can always talk to them over the phone about it. Maybe share screens, showing them the client brochure, the infographic. Maybe show them the video. Talk to them about the plan, and then you can sit behind your, in your office and use your PC to sign them up electronically for the plan. The only thing that's different with the PC platform, it looks exactly the same as the e-app platform, but we're not able to get their signature. They're going to sign your tablet screen, your smartphone screen, and we get it there. We don't get it with the PC platform. So the only caveat with the PC platform is they need to pick up the phone and do about a 2-minute verification call. And most agents just conference the client in for them to do it, but you can give the number, they call themselves. There's no health questions asked. We're not redoing the sale. We're not redoing the medical questions. We're going to ask them some information to verify their identity. Like we're going to ask them the last 4 of their social. We're going to ask them their birth date, their first and last name, and most importantly, we're going to ask them the name of the product. So make sure if you're going to do the call, they're going to have to talk. So let them say, okay, when they ask you the product name, say short-term home health care, and then they ask them if they understand they have to pay a premium to keep it, and that's it. It's 2 minutes long. Totally automated now. It's like talking to Siri. They can either speak the answers or they can punch them in on their phone. Works really well. My advice though, the GTL e-app, download that. And the first time you open it up, it's going to ask you for your GTL agent code. It's going to ask you what states you work in. And then once you do that, you'll create your own login and password, and you'll never need to remember your GTL agent code again. It will only show you the states that you put in that you work in. And the nice thing is you can cross-sell. So you could do a hospital indemnity plan and cross-sell a short-term home healthcare plan all on the same platform. You could do a Medicare supplement, cross-sell short-term home healthcare, all on the same platform. You're only going to have to put in the consumer's information once. It's going to carry it all over. It's going to ask you any questions needed for both products in one go-around. Very simple. So, boy, we've covered a lot today. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation and really got a great grasp of the product. Let me share with you something that it's probably one of the most important things I can. I did share with you in the video some premium examples with the prescription drug benefits that lower the cost to what seems like a very low amount. And you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, how is GTL going to handle this? They're going to get a lot of claims, and they're just not getting in enough premium to cover this stuff. So first thing I'll share with you is most of the applications we get in, Plan B, most people are adding a rider. Most people are not maxing out their prescription drug benefit we've seen in the last 2 years. And the product's running very, very well, actually ahead of forecast. So, and then keep in mind a situation where once somebody has their rate increase every 5 years is on the schedule, in most situations, it's not a situation where it's net $3 a month for them to have this plan. So I just want to pass that along to you in case you were thinking that the plan is underpriced. Right at this point, we're seeing no indication that that's an issue whatsoever, and so just want to pass that along to you. If you want to, we can handle some Q&A if you'd like at this point. If we can get the phone lines open again, we could probably do something like that. Or if you do have any questions, I do have agency's email address and sales support phone number. So if you want to call and get some infographics, if you want to call and get the link to the home healthcare video, or just order some supplies, we'll mail them right to your door. If you are not contracted through Premier yet, there's their number right there, and make sure to contact them. Email address there right on the screen too. So let me see if we have any questions in the Q&A, and if we want to maybe Rick or Christy open up the phone lines, we can see if we have some questions.
I have a couple of questions. The first question that I have is the gentleman doesn't understand the maximum and the restoration.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, let me just have some fun here and bear with me for a second. I'm going to back up to those slides. Yeah, so the first thing with the restoration is, and just to keep it as simple as possible, if the client has something that they go on home health care or home health care aid for, and it's something that's recoverable, for example, they fall and break their hip and they need the home health care for, let's say, 90 days. Well, after they recover and their doctor says, okay, Greg doesn't need home health care anymore, he's recovered. After that day, plus 180 days, then the plan restores fully that benefit. However, if you have somebody who gets some type of situation where they go on home health care and they're not going to be able to recover, and I use dementia or Alzheimer's as an example because currently, unfortunately, we do not have a cure for that. So if you have somebody who's using home health care benefits because they have dementia, well, they have 360 days of these benefits available to them for home health care, and they have 60 days of the home health care benefits available to them, at which when they use those, they would be gone. They're not going to restore. And keep in mind, using these, they're all separate days. So you could use it once a week for 360 weeks before you would, use up the home health care benefits, or consecutively for 360 days to use them. However it works for the client, it's nothing to do with the calendar year. It's all about how many days of home health care they have and use up until they hit their maximum. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
The other question that I have, and I think I know the answer to this, but I wanted to bring it to you, is lupus. Is it covered?
So the main thing to keep in mind is whenever you're looking at this, the application questions are just black and white. So if you have somebody who is not getting home health care, not getting skilled nursing care, you've got question one answered no. The second thing you have is, do they have a cognitive impairment? Do they have a functional impairment where they can't do 2 of the 6 ADLs? If they can't do, if they're not, they don't have an issue with that, you answer the question, no, they will get the coverage. Now, if they're getting some type of treatment for that and they want to use this product, you want to use home health care for the treatment of that in the first 6 months, they can't. They got the 6-month pre-X because they already have that condition and getting treatment for that.
Well, that's all the questions that we have. I wanted to thank you for your time, Greg.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever.
So we really appreciate it. And this is, our best, our best-selling home health care product that we have. So please give Rick or myself a call. Our number is 1-800-365-8208. My extension is 12226, and Rick's extension is 12227. And with that, I thank everybody for attending. Thank you, Greg.
Hey, thanks everybody. Yeah, no, my pleasure. Thanks everybody for attending, and have fun with the product.